Today's class, we are going to be working on our backs, specifically the low back, but I'll hit all different points of our back. But it's something I've been wanting to put out a video on YouTube for anyway, is focusing on low back and low back pain and all that stuff. Because that's probably the number one thing that I encounter in this business is people coming in with low back pain. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So even if you don't have a low back pain, you can still benefit from this class because we will be working on the core, which is helping us to strengthen all these muscles to support the back. Because a lot of times our back just is crying out for help because it's starting to get tight because other muscles are not doing their job well, and mainly that would be our leg muscles, so outer hips, inner thighs, gluteal muscles, hamstrings, thighs, all that stuff. And then of course, obviously their core. So I'll be working all of that, but I'll also be doing some release techniques and some breathing techniques that also can help if you are experiencing pain. But all of this should be helpful for the low back. So let's get started. Feet are flat on the floor. Let's just have our hands either resting on your thighs or you can place them on the belly. Oh, and one other thing, please have support. So I have a pillow, which we will be using today for quite a few of the exercises. So you can have a small either towel rolled up or a pillow is fine. You can just take a regular bath towel and just roll it up, and that would be perfect. Okay, close your eyes. Let's take a full breath in through your nose and release the breath out. You can sigh it out. You can let it just come out through your nose, whatever feels good. So one of the most important things that gets overlooked a lot is the breath, because when we're breathing the shallow breath, meaning up into our chest and not a full diaphragmatic breath, it just already is inviting pain to come into the body because we're not getting enough breathing in, we're not getting enough oxygen into the bloodstream, and then our muscles become starved. So we want to make sure we're breathing properly in through the nose all the way down to the belly. So if you want to, you could place your hands on your bottom rib cage. So if you know where your navel is, you're going to find that and you're going to slide your hands out to the sides, and that should land you right at the very bottom part of your front rib cage. So that's where we're going to start to breathe. So we're going to inhale and exhale. So when we're inhaling, you're going to feel the ribs moving outwards into your hands. And then as you exhale, your breath is going to come out through the nose and you're going to feel your ribs moving in. Our diaphragm is attached along the rib cage. So this is diaphragmatic breathing as your ribs move out to the sides. Then you should feel your belly starting to rise, right? So we're filling up this whole area with breath. And then you're going to exhale. You're going to feel your belly pulling in, your ribs moving in, and then the breath goes all the way out. So full inhale, full exhale. So just remember, when we're breathing in and we're expanding this area with the breath, and then we fully exhale, it gives an opportunity for that bigger breath to come in the next time. So we're going to really think about expanding this container and then bringing it all in. And this will help too, at the end of your exhale, to feel that abdominal engagement. So if you have your hands there on the bottom ribs, maybe take your fingers down a little bit. And then as you breathe out, you should feel everything pulling in and also up. So by allowing ourselves to receive that full exhalation, it allows us to invite in a deeper breath on the next one. So we're creating more space there. Sometimes it's easier to get a fuller exhale if we breathe out with pursed lips, almost like you have a straw and you're breathing out through the straw. So you can try that just by pursing your lips and breathing out. It takes a little bit longer, but that's okay, because now you can really feel that a little bit more abdominal engagement. So let's just practice this breathing about 2 or 3 more rounds. Okay, and then hands come back to your thighs and normal breathing in and out of your nose. And then after doing the diaphragmatic breathing, noticing if it's a little easier for you to find breath here. Deeper and fuller inhales and exhales. Okay, we're going to start with our intention. So palms together, thumb knuckles at your heart space. Go ahead and set your intention for your practice today, receiving this information, right? And using it, taking what you need, leaving the rest behind. Because a lot of times we'll come to classes and we're like, I don't need this. Well, that's fine. You can still do it, but learn it, and maybe you will in the future. So take exactly what you need today. And then we're going to let it go. So staying those arms up and away, releasing that intention out into the universe. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and grab that prop. So pillow or rolled up towel that's going to go behind your lower back. And this is just going to be able to give us some feedback here as we start to move the lumbar spine. So we're going to be moving all parts of the spine, but we're focusing right now, it's going to be just moving this lower portion of the spine. So it'll be kind of like down low, between your tailbone, your sacrum, and then just slightly above, okay? Hands are going to be on your thighs. We're going to use the inhale just to grow taller. We're not going to do any movement of the spine for the inhale. We're just going to do the exhale. So you're going to inhale, feel like you're growing taller. And then on your exhale, you can put your hands on your belly. We're going to push the low back and sacrum into the pillow. It's not going to be a big movement at all, but we're just going to get that feedback from the pillow back there. And then you're going to inhale, inflate the lungs, and then get the sense of growing upwards. And then we're going to exhale, just pushing that lower back. So we're not moving upper spine, we're not moving neck and head, just this lower portion of the spine. So it's a very small movement. Find that in breath, really inflate the lungs, feel the ribs. And then exhaling, you can breathe out through your mouth again, and you should feel those lower abdominals engaging as we're pushing that low back into the pillow. And then inhale, just allow everything to relax, fill up. And then exhale again. So even just this tiny little movement, and if you're experiencing pain and you're just doing this, this is beautiful. Just do this, right? So do what you can. And the breathing is so important, right? It's not gonna hurt you because we all gotta breathe anyway, right? So you might as well make the best of your breath. And we'll do one more inhale, just feel those ribs moving out. And then exhale, everything moving in, and lower back pushes into the pillow. And then inhale, let's relax it. We're gonna slide that prop up a little bit higher, so kind of bring it up to that middle back area. Many times when we're experiencing pain in our lower back, it can also just be immobilization of some of these back ribs, tightness around the shoulders. So we're gonna work in this middle section here, so the thoracic spine. If you want to move the lower spine and the cervical spine, that's fine. But our focus is going to be in this middle part, okay? So we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to inhale, feel like you're growing taller. And then on your exhale, I just want you to push your mid back into the pillow. The lower back's probably going to move too. That's fine. And then sit tall. You don't even have to move your neck and head. This can stay stable. I'm going to do it again. So inhale, feel this ribs growing wider. Exhaling through the nose or mouth, and you're just going to push that mid back into the pillow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Breathing in. And then just pushing that mid back right into the pillow. And then inhale. release and sit tall. Okay, we're gonna take the pillow out. You can leave it in if you want to, but we're experiencing the whole movement of the entire spine without any support behind you. Hands on your thighs. So we're gonna start, we're gonna move lower, mid, and then upper, which means you'll bring your chin to your chest. So we're gonna take a breath in and exhale, lower back, middle back, and then cervical spine. And then as you inhale, we're just coming back to neutral. So not even doing extension, we're just doing flexion and neutral. Okay, inhale, exhale, round, lower, middle, upper. Inhale, grow tall, fill up the lungs. And exhale, push down through your feet, round your spine, feel your tailbone moving forward. And then as you inhale, tailbone's gonna draw back. You're sitting up on your sit bones, shoulders are relaxed. And I'm just giving you these cues so you know what you should be feeling. One more, exhale, rounding. Sit bones, tailbone move forward in your chair, spine rounded, chin to chest. And then as you inhale, feel the sit bones, tailbone move slightly back, all the way through the crown of your head, let the shoulders soften down. Okay, we're going to experience the other direction, which is going to be extension. In some cases, it doesn't feel good for some people. And if you're one of those people that doesn't feel good, then you're just going to continue doing just exactly what we were doing and not adding the extension. So we're going to do extension first so you can see the difference. So on your extension, your tailbone and sit bones are moving back, right? You're feeling a little bit more contraction in your back muscles, but we're opening the front body. So you can feel more of a stretch here in the front. This is going to be your inhale, shoulders back, and we're just looking straight ahead. Okay, and then the opposite, we're going to push down into your hands, tailbone and sit bones move forward, spine is rounding, and we're contracting the muscles more on the front body and stretching more of the muscles in the back. And then we're going to come all the way into extension, or you can pause at neutral if that didn't feel good. Tailbone, sit bones move back, even further than neutral, opening up chest, rib cage, belly, contracting the back muscles. And then one more, exhale to round. And then come back to neutral on your inhale. And let's let the arms relax. And then just feel your feet on the ground. Feel your sit bones on the chair. We want to feel equal, right? Equally weighted between your two legs, equally between your two sitting bones. And we're going to keep this, right? This equal feeling in both sit bones. And we're going to open up the side body. So we're going to take our arms out to the side. And I want you to just wrap your arms, give yourself a hug, right? So squeeze that in. We're going to hold the one side of the rib cage. And then we're going to reach up and over. So you're going to stretch. And I want you to feel this side of the body. So you're going to just maybe tap your ribs, just maybe give them a little bit of a up and down rubbing sensation. And just focus on the breath here. So we're now contracting this side of the body and we're opening the opposite side and we're breathing into this space here. And lots of times we can get tight on one side of our body. And you can have tightness on one side of your low back. All right, coming all the way back up, arms go wide, and we're gonna hug ourselves the other direction. So the bottom arm, you're gonna hold the rib cage, the top arm is gonna come up and over. And the same thing, we're gonna keep equally weighted on both the feet, both the sit bones, don't let anything change there. And we're gonna just start slightly tapping or rubbing along these side ribs, just inviting more breath to come in here. Finding space. One more breath in, and then you're going to use your exhale to come all the way back up, and we're just going to sit up nice and tall. Fill up with breath, so feel everything just opening up, side ribs, front, back. Okay, we're going to just move the upper body just a little bit here, so a lot of times we get tension here, upper traps. So let your arms just hang down by your side, and we're just going to do opposite, like one side at a time, shrugging up. And I want you to drop the opposite side down. And then as you release one side, pull that one down, lift the other one up. So we're just doing our scapula elevation on one side, depression on the other. Find the center, and then shrug one up, and the other one goes down. And you're going to try to stay sitting up tall. We're not turning this into any kind of a side bend or anything. We're just literally moving that upper trap muscle and shoulder blades. Find center, one up, one down. And find center, one up, one down. And then come back to center. And then just go ahead and do a couple shoulder rolls and shake out the arms, letting go of tension. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on a little bit of the hamstrings. So first we're going to like stretch them, mobilize them, and then we're going to work them. One of the things that I always do, especially if you've got any kind of nerve pain, coming from the gluteal muscle, maybe down the sort of to the hamstrings. Sometimes it can go all the way down to the foot. If you have numbing, tingling, any pain or anything like that, if it feels different, like not just a normal pain, it generally is some sort of a nerve entrapment. It could be the sciatic nerve trapped underneath of the piriformis. It could also be coming from the spine. And when it gets irritated, it can cause tightness in the hamstrings, and it can also lead to any kind of pain that might be traveling down the leg. So what I usually do with these are sciatic nerve glides, and they're really helpful. And if you have any kind of nerve pain, you can do these a couple times a day, 2 or 3 times a day. Most helpful is to do them in the morning when you get up and at bedtime. Generally, after you do them in the morning, you sometimes can let that pain will subside. So what you'll do, you can slide slightly forward, and we'll just start with the right leg out. There's a couple different options, and you can even do this lying down in bed too. So if you're laying in bed, it's a little bit different than the seated variation of it. There's a couple different ways where you're literally just flossing the nerve, and we're just trying to create some space there, because what happens is the muscles are tight and they clamp down on the nerve, and what causes that is irritation because it's clamping down on it, and the nerve can't glide. So what we're doing is we're creating this space so the nerve can do its gliding, and when it gets stuck, it gets irritated. So that's the idea behind doing nerve flossing or nerve gliding. Okay, so you're gonna start with a straight leg. And then if you just lift your leg a couple inches off the floor, and if you really do feel like some tightness here in the glute or maybe down the hamstring, it might be a little bit of nerve irritation. So you can leave your foot on the floor if it's uncomfortable to have lifted. What you're gonna do is you're gonna flex and point your foot. So you can just do this, flexing and pointing, right? So when we're flossing, the nerve goes all the way down to your foot. It also goes all the way up here. So what we can also move is the neck and the head. So when your foot is in a flex position, you can look up towards the ceiling. And when you point your foot forward, you're gonna look down. Okay, so this is moving the whole nerve, right? So you can do this one. Or if it doesn't feel good to move your head, you can just do the foot. And I would do like 10 of these, and you can also add it in if it feels okay to look up and look down. And these are like all over the internet. So all you have to do is type in Google search sciatic nerve floss. Tons of videos come up, but it's pretty easy, simple to do, and it's a good one, right? It does work. The other option, if you're laying in bed, then what you would do is you'd be laying flat, and you would have one leg bent and the other leg would be up, and you would just be holding onto the back. So I'm just going to show you this variation laying down just in case you want to do it. But then you would just be bending the knee, and then you're not going to fully straighten it. You just want to go until you feel tension in the hamstring. We're not trying to force it because it's not a hamstring stretch, it is a nerve glide. Then all you'll do is you're going to flex and point your foot without moving this upper leg. You can just bend and straighten. So you can point and bend and flex and straighten. You can also hold it here and just flex and point, right? So remember, it's not a hamstring stretch. So a lot of people get caught up in is stretching the hamstrings. It's not about that. It's really just allowing that nerve to just glide, okay? You can do the other side if you want to. So you can stretch that leg out. You can just practice flexing, pointing the foot while it's on the floor. You can lift it up, and you can also add looking to the ceiling as the foot is flexed. So if the toes are pointing to the ceiling, you're looking up. If the toes are pointing away, you're looking down. So if you forget, so it's up, up, and then away and down. All right, and the same thing in the bed, same thing, you'll just hold on to the back of your thigh, spine is flat, and you just would be going to a place where you feel tension, stop there. You can just do flex and point, or you can flex and point to bend. Either one of those is fine. And again, they're all over the place if you just Google it and you're just curious. Okay, so outer thighs, inner thighs. So outer hips, these are stabilizers, right? So when we're walking, moving, exercising, whatever you do, bending over, picking things up, gardening, all those things we need to make sure that the stabilizers are working. So there'll be glute medius, glute minimus, and then your adductors, your inner thighs. A lot of times we'll have weakness on one side. So for example, you could have weak outer thighs on one leg and weak inner thighs on the other. You could have a weak on both, inner and outer. So it's really tricky. So the best thing to do is just work all of it, and then you'll like make sure you have it all covered. Pillow was helpful for this one because we'll work the inner thighs next. So you're going to put it between your thighs. And what we're going to be doing is pillow squeezes. This is really great because it's working your adductors, but this is also helpful if you have knee pain, right? So this also kind of like a double one. You get two benefits, right, from pillow squeezes. Not that hard to do, right? You can do this while you're watching television. So just sit up tall, right? Make sure you're feeling this little bit of abdominals, like so you can feel that you're not slouching. So we're sitting tall. You can always prop behind you if you have a tendency to slouch, because we want to make sure we're sitting tall and doing it properly. Your arms can be down by your side. You can put your hands on your legs. And all we're doing is we're going to squeeze and release. And let's do 10. You can do 20 of these pretty easily. I would do like 2 or 3 sets of them though, because 10 of them isn't really gonna give you what you need. You probably need to do like 30, but break it up into sets. Like you do 10, rest for a minute, do 10 more, that kind of thing. And don't do them too fast either. So really hold the squeeze for a second or two and then release it. Okay, so you can feel your inner thighs working. And look, you could do these if you're able to lay on the floor, you could do pillow squeezes in a bridge, right? Bridging is great work for your back. I'm not going to show it in this class because it's a chair class, but if you're doing regular yoga or if you're able to do a bridge on the floor or even in your bed, I would definitely do bridging. It's good to work the core, stabilizes, and you can always add the squeezes in the bridge, which will just amplify the benefits of the strengthening, because then now you're working all of it together. All right. And I'm just going to do one set here, but if you're doing this and you want to do it again in the future at home, while you're just working through some back pain, I would do 3 sets of 10 of those, the pillow squeezes. Now with the outer thighs, we'll separate the legs. And what you're going to be doing now is you're going to be pushing your thighs back. And the same principle here with the pillow squeezes, we're not just going to do this, right? Because that's not really helpful. We're going to provide a little bit of resistance, so you can put your hands on your outer thighs, and I want you to push, hold, and release. So you're going to hold it for about 2 seconds. You're going to push out, hold, and release. And you can do this on the exhale. So you're going to inhale first, exhale, keep breathing out, and inhale, release. Exhale, and release. And you should be feeling this on your outer hips. And again, same thing there. 3 sets of 10 of these will really strengthen. Again, you can do this while you're watching television or listening to music or just talking with friends. You could all do it together. It's all fun, right? But just incorporating this kind of fun stuff into your day just to help your body. Let's do 2 more. And you should be feeling it right about now. They should start to feel a little spicy. You might be even shaking a little bit. Last one, squeeze. And then release. And then we'll just do tippy toes and just do a couple windshield wipers just to release the inner and outer thighs. Okay, so more strengthening, because strengthening is going to be important. And again, we're always thinking about breathing. We're always thinking about core. Those are number 1 and number 2, and they really kind of go together. And then adding them in with strengthening. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do chair pose, which is going to strengthen your thighs and we're gonna do a hinge, right? So we're gonna put your fingers in your hip creases. We're going to hinge the body. So we're not changing the shape of the spine. It's tailbone to crown is one straight line. And we're gonna maintain that as we stand up. Pressing down through the feet, slowly rise up. We're gonna hold. So you're just hovering above your chair. Your arms can do anything you want. You can put them on your thighs, you could cross them, prayer position, whatever it is, we're gonna hold it. I want you to count to 10. And then when you reach 10, make sure it's an exhale, and then you're gonna push down through your feet and slowly stand up. Now with this one, you could do multiples of this one. You could come down, and if you have a chair, it's better because it gives you a target. You can even sit, hinge, hover, hold, and stand, right? And do multiples of these. Hover, sit, hinge, hover, and stand, right? And again, working up to 10 repetitions of that is going to really strengthen all of this muscle, all these muscles, glutes, quadriceps, right? Core. So chair pose, using the chair as kind of like a guide, because a lot of times when we think we're doing chair pose, we have a tendency to do something like this. So it just gives you a target to sit, right? Because we want to get those glutes back and hips back. So there's a gliding action that's happening. Our hips are gliding back, and we're not changing the shape of our spine. So remember, keep your gaze lifted. That'll help, because a lot of times I'll see people round forward and then we're creating more tension on our back. So when we keep our spine straight, you're using your core. And when you start to round, now we're using our back. And then that overuses the back muscles. And then they start to cry out for help because they can't do all that. It's too much pressure on your low back muscles. Okay, and then yoga. Couple things here. Cat and cow. You can stand up and do it like this. Cat cow. We did it sitting. You can also do it with your hands on the chair. So if you're standing up, you have a couple options. Hands on the seat, hands on the back of the chair. It just depends on your body and whatever feels comfortable. Knees are going to be bent and soft. And then same thing, we're going to round the spine. And you can come through neutral, and if you don't want to go into extension, then don't. And if you want to, you're going to lift your tailbone, and you're going to be arching this low back. Chest is lifted. Exhale round. And if you feel tightness somewhere, then just stay out of going into pain, okay? So if it just feels tight, just go a little bit into tight, but don't go too far if you're starting to experience any kind of pain. We don't want to aggravate things. We just want to get things moving again and releasing the tightness. Okay, 2 more. And if this doesn't feel like it's enough, then you can do hands on the chair. And then we're going to work all the way down the legs. Because remember I said, if you have sciatic nerve pain, it goes all the way down to the foot. So we're going to work the bottoms of the feet. So first we're going to hold on to the back of the chair, and I just want you to rock your weight forward so it's more towards the forefoot and then towards the heels, so the heels get heavy. So just get a sense of moving in space, forward and back. Now put your hand on your low back, just one hand on your low back, and move forward. And then move back. Move forward. And then back. Move forward and stay there and just feel the muscles here. Notice how they're tensing up a little bit, because what they're doing is they're preventing us from falling forward, so they start to activate. Now go back and notice how they relax, because now these muscles are activated. So here's the thing to know, and this happens to everybody. When we're walking and we're moving and we're looking down at the ground, and when we're looking at our devices, guess where our body is going? Forward, right? So noticing when you're walking, and you can walk with your hand on your low back, I invite you to do this. If you have a tendency to be more forward, right? I watch people walk all the time, so I see this. I see you people walking like this, and then they have back pain. Okay, think about that. So if you put your hand on your back and you start walking around, I want you to lead here from your sternum, your heart. Hand on your heart, hand on your back. And you don't have to do this in public, just do it around your house and just notice. If you have your hand on your heart and you're leading here with your heart and feel your back muscles, they're more soft and relaxed. These muscles will be more engaged, right? Try it, like walk around, just walk around with your hand on your heart, lead with your heart. Your shoulders will be much happier, your lower back will be much happier, and you are also going to be more happy because you're leading with your heart energy. So think about like happiness, joy, where does it all live? In the heart. When we're closed off like this, tight, are we happy here? Probably not. So that's a good, just to think about, because a lot of times we have back pain, just the way we move and walk in life. So pay attention to it as you're moving. All right, now we're going to put our hands back on the chair. We're going to lift the heels up really high. So you're going to push down through all the toes, heels are lifted, and then you're going to drop them all the way down to the ground. We're going to do 10 of those. And again, working the leg, the lower legs too, working the foot. Everything is connected. And again, we want to lead with the heart, even in this one. So your top of your head is reaching upwards, heart center is open. And because we are putting our weight onto our toes, I don't want you to lean forward. I actually want you to lean back slightly. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but try it. And your back muscles are probably softer, as if you were going to go like this, which is a tendency to do this because we are on our toes. And then notice the difference in your back. So pay attention even when we're doing movement. Okay, and this one, I'm only going to do 10 today, but you're going to do 3 sets of 10 every day, in the morning, night, and you're going to build lots of strength in your ankles and your feet, which is going to benefit you because you're going to walk better, move better, and be able to do your balances much better, which we're going to do next. So in balancing, here's where a lot of this all comes together. We have to use our core, we have to use our breathing, we have to use heart center open, gaze forward, and we're utilizing all these muscles that we just worked, right? Your thighs, your glutes, inner and outer legs, right? All these things, and feet. So we're going to hold the balance, and I want you to look straight ahead. You have your chair, but I also want you to not hold it the whole time. So play with it. One hand on your heart, one hand on the chair to start, and you don't have to do anything fancy. If you want to do tree pose, you can, but you don't have to. You can just pick your leg up and hold it there. Your standing leg is going to be the working leg because you're using all of this energy. So you're going to feel wobbles. That's normal. But I want you to keep good posture, heart open because you have your hand there. Weight back slightly into heel. Just going to engage your glutes, but also relax the low back. And we're going to hold it and breathe, and then you can practice taking your hand off. See how long you can go. Put it back down to reset. And you're going to do this for 60 seconds. You can set a timer. I have one on my watch I can do easily. So 1 minute, and we'll do both sides like this. 1 minute. Hold that balance, and you're building a lot of strength. And noticing if your tendency is to go forward, I want you to bring your weight back. And always thinking about that weight back. Heart leading is going to change a lot of things. The breath, core engagement. Okay, put it down, shake it out. Stand in mountain pose, close your eyes, just reset, check in, breathe. Nice full breath in, exhale, and let it go. If you want to switch to the other side, you can walk around, you can flip your chair around, whatever you need to do. Now have your standing leg next to the chair. You can use a wall. Okay, standing leg, set that, weight back slightly into heel. Pick up the other leg. You can do tree pose if you want, or just fold it up. Gaze straight ahead, hand over heart, so your heart stays lifted. Weight slightly back, 60% into the heels, 40% into the toes. You can even take your tongue and press it to the roof of your mouth, which is going to support your head and neck. And then hand off. Hold it. Noticing wobbles. Wobbles are good. This is your nervous system working. It's doing its job. It's talking to all your muscles that need to be working. And you'll usually find out that one side is not as easy as the other. So just be curious about that. Couple more breaths. And go ahead and release. Come back to standing mountain pose. Close your eyes. Full breath in. Full breath out. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stretch. So you're going to stand behind your chair. We're going to put our hands on it and we're going to take a walk back. And you want to try to keep your spine straight. So bending the knees, sending the tailbone back. We're not going to try to arch the spine. So as you breathe in and out, I want you to pull your belly up. So feel this core activation. So if you start to feel like your tailbone is lifting, go ahead and draw it down slightly. Or if it's tucked under and you're rounding your spine, then I want you to bend your knees more and reach the tailbone back further. So we're trying to maintain a straight spine. And then once you have that, I want you to just breathe all the way down to your belly, feel your belly relaxing. And then as you exhale, feel your ribs pulling in, your navel pulling in. And again, so feel your back muscles opening, feel your rib cage widening as you breathe in. And as you exhale, I want you to feel this toning of your abdominal muscles. 2 more breaths. And also in this position, with our knees bent, our hips back like this, we're also opening the back of the pelvis, which is generally if we're having tightness in our glutes and maybe some pain from this sciatic nerve, this is also opening that up. Okay, slowly walk yourself all the way back up into your chair and stand up tall. And just take a moment, play around with your posture, right? So maybe placing your hand on your heart, maybe one on the low back, and play around with coming forward slightly, back slightly, and see what it feels like in your body. Okay, now find the place where your back muscles are relaxed more. You can use your fingers and then release them down by your side. And noticing when you do that, where do you feel the weight in your feet? So do you feel a little bit more in the back rear foot or more in the midfoot or more in the forefoot? Okay, we're going to play around with a yoga pose real quick. So let's step back with the left foot. And we're going to have our hips facing towards the chair and we're going to bend that front knee. And I want you to push down really strongly into your back heel. And as you're pushing down the back heel, I want you to feel all the way up into your glute. Put your hands on the rib cage. And I just want you to breathe in and out of your nose and find the weight pressure between the both feet equal. So the front knee is bent, the back leg is straight, weight is pressing down into the back foot and the front foot equally. Now, if you shift your weight slightly towards the front foot and lighter in the back foot, again, noticing where you feel tension. And then if you push into your front foot and bring your upper body back more, noticing less tension in the back, more tension in the front. And this is common, right? That people will sometimes have more weight forward, even in yoga, like in a pose like warrior one, where you're supposed to have your shoulders right over your hips. I see more people leaning into it, leaning forward, and then they take their arms up, which is putting more tension on the low back. So to take the tension out of the back is maybe just cross your arms in front over your heart and just lean back just a tiny bit. It's not much. It could be just an inch maybe. And noticing that feels a little bit better when you're doing your yoga pose. We're just gonna switch sides. So I'm just giving examples of things you can try when you're practicing yoga and just playing with it. So first we're gonna set hips facing forward, grounding through the back heel, and then just play around with, and you can always put your hands on your low back here, moving forward slightly, moving back slightly. And then try it with your arms up and see if you can bring your upper body back, and then you don't have as much tension there. But anytime we take our arms up overhead, it creates more tension. So if that's bothersome to you, you could just cross your arms and still hold the pose, right? But really press down through the heel, the back foot, so your glutes are engaged. And we're not letting our upper body come forward, we're keeping it more back. Okay, and then we'll step forward and we're gonna come back to sitting. I know I threw a lot of information. This video will be, available to watch again. So if you want to watch it again, cross your arms, we're going to hover, and then you're going to gently sit. Okay, so let's do rounding and extending. If that feels good, you can just do neutral if it doesn't. And just go to a place where it feels good. There should be no pain. And then coming back to neutral. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just sit all the way back. If you want to grab that pillow, put it behind you, you can. Sit back and relax into your chair. Keep your feet grounded, hands on the belly. Close your eyes. Take a full breath in through your nose. And exhale. One more of those. Nice full breath in. And full breath out. And then just let your hands rest gently on your thighs. Slow down your breathing. Just let everything relax. And then just begin to bring awareness back into your body. We'll wiggle the fingers, maybe circle the arms up, take a deep breath in. And then we're going to gather up that intention and pull it back into the heart space. Close your eyes, take a moment to return to your intention for class today. Take a moment to thank yourself for being here, taking care of your body, especially your lower back. And then we're going to bring thumb knuckles up to your third eye point, the space between your eyebrows. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much, and I hope this video helps you guys. If you want to rewatch it again, and just do it as many times as you need to in order to feel better. Have a great day. Thanks.